Hey, hello, people, folks. Um, I hope this is working. I actually really didn't try before joining the stream today, but it doesn't matter. It's been a rough day, actually. I woke up a bit sick, but I'd say, hey, this is not gonna take away my chance to still completing the 5 days of streaming of this week, building apps with lovable and AI. So here I am. We're gonna try to make it real quick to the point. I don't know. I would love to start hearing feedback. So if you have anything you could add in the chat when this ends, or even if you just leave, make sure to drop in the chat your opinion. That's really useful, even if you think it's a rude opinion. It's so valuable for me. So I appreciate it if you could leave that whenever you can. So yeah, um, 5 day of lovable coding. We're gonna continue working on the habits RPG tracking app, which should load here in a second. I believe the last thing we did was testing what were we testing yesterday? I think it was the time sensitivity of the habits, right? So if, for example, you had an habit that was weekly, we added a small button in the sandbox we created to build this functionality, because if there's anyone new in the chat, something really game changing I'm trying to try in this run of building an app is I'm trying to develop the features I consider that are somewhat complex in sandboxes within the same app, so I get the backend and the functionality right before actually introducing them in the flow of the app, in the screens of how I want to see them implemented, right? Just like you will do if you were building a real app, I guess. Uh, this is because the last time I tried to create and make progress with this very same project, I faced some roadblocks where it was just so hard to fix so many of the errors I was getting that wiping things was a better idea, right? So wiping the habit system, wiping the character system was better. And because I had to kind of wipe a lot of things, I just said, hey, why don't I just start over again with the learned lessons and try a different approach to build it in this way this time. So yeah. Um, Lovable, it's not loading right now. That's normal. Sometimes, it takes a while for it to kickstart. Meanwhile, we're gonna open the cursor and we're just gonna make sure that we have the latest version on our local environment as well. I always forgot the get fetch command, but I have it on my note taking. And there I go. Now it's running on local. This is taking a while, so I'm just gonna load it up in local just to show you guys what's the progress and how's the sandbox looking like. And today I think I'd like to work on the next feature, which I haven't decided yet if I want it to be the level up system or the end experience system, or if I and the stats probably too, or if I want to add the habit streak, for example, which was something that actually gave us a problem yesterday, and we decided to separate it. And then, according to the Vibe example, the Vibe document, I mean, we could also split it by what else? What else are we missing right now? Habit management, level up system. Okay, yeah, and character stat management is different from the level up. That's right. So we're gonna take that decision in a while. For the time being, I'm just going to show you how this is looking so far. There, it loaded on mobile, so let's try it here. That's we have this button here, which should take us to the sandbox. This is a sandbox, right? And what you can do from here is you can create new habits and see them get listed below. with the correct tags and properties, right? So you have the difficulty level, the time frequency, the name, and the completion date. And then we have like a QA component up here that allows us to test that these habits work correctly when week passes, when day passes, and that they give XP back as well. So I'm just gonna test it out real quick. This is a daily. This daily. That's normal. Have it created. This daily. It's normal. Yeah. And if I complete it, it should be blocked for the day. That's right. And if I advance the day, that should unlock. That's correct. Great. I think something I didn't test was trying to advance the dailies for more than one day. Let me try that real quick. If I click on that and advance a month, it should clear out too, right? Yeah. Okay. So it did a good job with the logic of the code there. Awesome. And I can also delete them. Something I think I was missing here was the capability to load the names once you're editing. Because if you edit them right now, you don't get any name. It's actually a problem because you need to type a name in order to save the changes. But I'd say that we're not going to do that here, like on this screen, on this sandbox, because I think we have enough to just start building the logic on the way we want to like present this in the correct UI, which is as we have this design right here, right? So this will be like the habit creation will look like this, and yeah, and it will be listed like a list like this, and so on. So yeah, I think again, I'm just gonna make the choice real quick, right? Um, and I think we're gonna go with the XP and level up system. Okay, so what I'm gonna prompt Lovable now to do is to create a different sandbox. I'm gonna scroll up just to check again how did I instruct them to create the first one. Just a real look. So on the sandbox where we can safely deal as with a component development. Great. Yeah, I'm just gonna remind them to ask me these questions because those are important. And I'm gonna tell it, okay, I think let's add a bit of information. The habit system is fine for now. Let's now create another sandbox in the project for the level up and experience system. Again, this is where I'm asking the questions because the level up system is also going to be related to the stats system because it's gonna award stats once you level up. I think I should introduce the stats systems first. Yeah. Yeah, I think I should do the stat system first for sure because I feel like the level up system, because I planned to award like this stat points that you can assign your character once you level up, just like in our RPG video game. That's going to rely on the character having the right stats and existing stats and awarded stats, right? As in the other way, I can perfectly start creating the stat system without considering anything of the level up system because it doesn't have like that dependency. So I'm gonna build a stat system first. I think it was character and stats, right? For the character values and stats because we don't only want to work on the stats, but we also want to work on the character having a name, having a class as well, and what else? I think the database actually can like guide us in what else we recommended here. What's recommended when we started the project? Characters. If you look at the characters, it has a class, the gender as well, and okay, in the database they are together, so you have like the experience point in here. Yeah, let's go for the character values and stats. So, okay. And the follow instruction is just a series of questions I try to use in the prompts to make Lovable ask me more in-depth questions about the feature I'm building. So if there's any detail I'm not mentioning when I'm explaining what to build in the first prompt, which is like character values and stats, he will ask the questions needed for me to provide a question. So what I'm going to do right now is I have a different document here on a project in Cursor where I actually like develop a whole document with ChatGPT about the stat system right here. And I'm just gonna take a read to see if like there's any kind of similar instruction I want to use to describe the system and define it correctly from the beginning. So tracks characters progression, okay, core concept, experience points are fundamental, earning XP. Play, players gain XP by completing habits and winning combat encounters. Okay, that's irrelevant now, but I guess we're just gonna ignore it from the combat thing. XP requirements. Each level requires progressively more XP to achieve. Current XP is stored in the character's record and visually displayed as progress toward the next level. Level progression. Follow this principle. So character starts at level 1. Each level requires a specific amount of XP to achieve. Upon reaching the required XP, characters can level up. Um, and a notification should pop up. I'm just gonna mention that just because I'm sure we created like a small pop-up component yesterday that you get when you complete habits, and it says like what kind of how much XP did you get, or if you fulfill a streak as well. Although we removed like the streak feature, but I want to use the same component to communicate the level up, right? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be this. What is it like this blue box that I did right here? And I wanted to make a single component. So when I tell them to make it look like this, it's changing one component and on 10 instances of different components that do the same thing. Great. I was reading the document. I know this is boring, but I'm just going to read it because it's really important. Again, it's not, I know it's not the vibest thing to do. It doesn't look like that. But I think one of the best things you can do when you start a project, and I always remark this, is you need to have a chat and spend some minutes really defining what you're going to build, because it's going to help you and the AI tool make cleaner decisions, and decisions that would lead to less bugs, less errors, and less roadblocks in my experience building these months. Leveling up resets the counter. Okay, it's stat points. Let's read the stat points. Stat points are reward for leveling up. Each level earn grants a fixed number of stat points, which is a full 3. That's okay. Points can be allocated to any primary stats, strength, intellect. Okay. Allocation is permanent, cannot be refunded, reallocated. I want to think about that because I might, I might want to. No, but that's something. Never mind that. That's something we're gonna fix in the UI. Unspent points are tracked and can be saved for allocation. That's right. Experience requirement is calculated using a linear progression formula. Required XP, it's the level per XP per level factor, where XP per level factor is 500 by default. Yeah, it's a very basic calculation. It's a linear one, but I think I'm fine with that. Like, I don't want to make the level up thing that complex. It doesn't need to. Technical implementation, data by structure. The level system relies on these fields in the characters table. Okay. I'm gonna check the database just to see how much it looks like the database suggestion we got. So if we go to characters, we have where is it? The document again? Here. We got experience on spent stat points and then the stats, I think. So experience level on spent stat points with the very same name. Experience points. And then the stats: strength, intelligence, dexterity, stamina. Strength, dexterity, intelligence, stamina. Yeah, that's awesome. And then the secondary stats, which are like the HP, max HP, and the stuff. That's the secondary stuff. So it will be based on a calculation of things. Awesome. Level service. The level service is system is implemented in the level service class. Okay, so this is more technical right now. This is like using the system it implemented for this particular app, which was the old version of the project, the one that led to a Roblox. So I'm gonna read to see what can I salvage from the logic it made from this. So it says check if a character can level up. So it gives us a logic to check if a character can level up. A car logic for allocating points, experience calculation. It's determined by XP per level function. Level up process. The level up process follows these steps. Wow, these are a lot of instruction actually. Like, I wonder if it's a better idea to um, just copy this entire document and not make it a prompt because I think it's way too lengthy for a prompt, including the codes and stuff, and make it so I'm gonna tell Lovable to read the document and say, I want you to use this as a template to build the XP and level up system for our app because this is from another app that failed, for example, something like that. So I'm gonna open a new window with the current project, which is this one. I'm gonna create a. Let me see where's the best way to place it. Docs. Okay, yes, it's a folder called Docs. That seems okay. I don't have any doc right now, right? No. Nope, I don't. It's fine. It's gonna create the. Is it in public? Like, I just want to make sure it's in a folder where the lovable can read it correctly. So this doc, yeah, no models. Okay. Docs. And I'm gonna create a new file called level up system. Then just gonna call it like this real quick. I'm going to paste that level and experience. Level system and experience documentation. Okay. And it's called level/system MD. I'm just gonna run level and system here. And experience it. And I'm gonna read the latest parts of this because I think it had something related to balance and stuff. I'm gonna make sure I get that right. So the level system integrated with the habit system. Completing habits of work speed. That's right. The combat system, which is not ready yet. I'm gonna say here like work in progress. And the stat systems as well, like stat points earned from leveling up enhanced character stats. That's okay. It has some user interface considerations, such as the bar. That's right. The level display, stat point allocation. This is great actually that it listed these things. I need to kind of grab the prompt that helped me build this entire document to define the system because I think it's kind of killer, to be honest. Future enhancements, alternate experience sources. Okay, achievements. Yeah, why not? I'm gonna delete this for now. And I wonder if I should keep the streak here. Yeah, I think this doesn't mention anything about streak. Yep, it doesn't. So I'm gonna save this. What I'm doing right now is just pushing the changes to the repo, so the lovable project has context on these new files I'm including. And what I'm gonna do right now is just rewrite this prompt for the development of the feature character. Wait a minute. I was focusing on the. I'm sorry about that. Like I created the levels and experience, but I said that we were going first with the stat system, right? Which has a similar document. So when I go to stat system, I think this one it's like more straightforward because it doesn't require that many database interactions and stuff. It's just a lot of calculations. Character stats and stat system. Okay, the primary ones, great. The derived stats, awesome. We have like things like physical damage, spell damage, defense, critical chance. That's right. Stat formulas, health and magic. Okay. Stat service, stat system is under which class? Okay. And it has like the classes, which should have like a description of how many stats they give and stuff. I think I have that on another document actually. Character class maybe? Nope. Okay. Yeah, I guess we don't have the. I guess we don't have the document for the character classes, but I think it's not needed. It's something really straightforward. So let's just update the stats document here real quick. What's on the other? I'm gonna close this project. I'm not gonna use it anymore. Character stats is here, and then I'm gonna push those changes. Git commit added characters stats doc. Push it right there. And then we're just gonna wait for the push to be made so we can reload the lovable tool. I wonder if at the same time we should just be building stuff in cursor and then compare them, but let's do that. That seems like a fun experiment. So I'm just gonna refine the prompt for the development of the feature for calling. Please check the /doc /stats character stats. I think it was. That's MD and D. I said that in Spanish. In the docs characters /stats and D as a reference for the context and implementation, but be flexible with the technical implementation and artifacts to match our project and architecture better. Also, update the document based on this suggestions you make. After reading, you can also ask me. I'm gonna tell him to ask me a couple of questions as well because I feel like there's a couple of details there are that there are not mentioned on the document yet that I want to get right for the like testing of the feature. So I'm gonna prompt him to ask me a couple more questions to see if there's any details we can help him with before implementing. I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna reload the lovable chat. So we hopefully get the commits. Yeah, let's see commits that suck, and then we can proceed. I'm going to give it to cursor while this loads. I'm gonna add the context for the character stats here, and I'm gonna make sure that after reading, because I feel there are some details that the document might not be mentioning about my expectations. Man, really, really descriptive right there. And character stats, that's all right. Yep, just gonna hit enter right now. Oh wait, but yeah, he will actually be like cursor won't be able to do it as well as lovable because he doesn't have database access. So let's just trigger this on the lovable and see if he can start with the database connections and stuff. Gonna close. I'm gonna be right back. We'll take a leak. I'm back and it loaded just in time. So great. Great, great, great. Okay, so let's see what it came up with. I'll help you create a sandbox. The strengths of system include primary stats and derived stats. There's also class system with wire ranging hunters. Yep. Some clarifying questions. Character development. One. How do you want players to earn set points when you're leveling up or only through leveling up? Two. Visualization. Do you want a full character sheet with visual elements like bar for XP or a simpler stat display initially? Let's create visual elements with bars and icons for the stats. I'm gonna do this right now. Let's try to assign a variable, a kind of variable to the stat iconic representation that I can change later, like a component maybe. So when I have the final icon, I can just change it in a single place and make it change where the class icon is referenced. So we're basically I'm asking him to create a component for the classes like the warrior and the mage. I want to use icons to represent them. And I wanted to create a component right now because I'm going to change it later. And when I change it, I want to make sure that I just update a component and not change every single image where I'm showing the class image. Integration. How should the system integrate with the habit system? Should complete habits? Yep, that's correct. Completing habits give XP that leads to level up. 4. Mobile experience. Any specific mobile interactions you want for location stat points? I like the plus and less buttons. 5. Should users select a class during character creation, or this is a future feature? Should different classes have different starting stat distributions? That's a good question. Like, should I implement this very same sandbox like a character creation process? Maybe. Select class during character creation. I'm gonna say yes. They will select classes class during character creation. Character creation should include gender choice, class choice, and naming choice. Right. And naming. Let's just leave it at naming. Add this to the sandbox card that we can only. I'm gonna set like a couple of instructions for the sandbox, right? So I'm gonna say extra instructions from the for the sandbox. And I'm gonna tell it 1, make sure to add QA buttons similar to the what was it? The habit completion QA actions. Good built-in actions similar to the action. Habit completion sandbox. 2, make sure to add a button to trigger a character creation process, and then be able to delete/restart the character to trigger a new chart creation in the sandbox. Because there can be 2 characters. I want to allow only 1 character per account per user. So let's leave it at that. And do I have any other specific instruction for the sandbox? I'm trying to think. I'm gonna take out another quick note. But I think I don't. So I'm just gonna hit enter on this one. Bam. And see what it comes up. If you're in the other side of the screen, I would love to interact with you some way. So where are you watching from? Like, feel free to drop a comment. Where are you seeing from? Why are you here? How do you came here? I'm streaming every day. Trying to do it every afternoon, 3 p.m. Argentinian time. That's GM3 minus 3. But I might change the hour the next week. Maybe do it a little later or a little sooner. And good thing is you can always find the recordings of the streamings in Botgeek, which is the platform, one of the platforms of choice, and YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't save like the X, Twitter recordings in the same platform. But if you go to my X account, you'll find a link to my YouTube channel, and you can check them out for here, along with my videos, which I'm uploading regularly. Everything about vibe coding. That's what we do here. Oh my god. No, that was your It was your classical water choke right there. Uh, but I'm okay. I'm fine. I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll be fine as long as lovable doesn't take 1 extra hour. This is what I'm telling you with the patients. It's been 45 minutes in the stream. And so far, most of the things we've done have been describing what do we want to build. And that might seem like a lot of time to just think about what you want to build. But trust me, it's going to save you the amount of time that you will get when you get a lot of errors, a lot of compatibility issues within the services you're creating. So try to think about scale. If you want to really build like something you can upload to the Play Store and that will get like a certain amount of people per day, you can. I mean, it depends. If you're testing something really like a very basic idea out of the shelf, maybe it's better for just go ahead and create something and start building, even if it has errors, just to see how people respond to it, especially the market if you're launching it. But on the other hand, if you plan to like worry or spend some time in the future improving or understanding how that app is going to evolve, it's going to be scalable, it's going to be, it's going to raise the bar on how it's going to be used and how it's going to feel for the user, for the client, then it's important that you understand that how these things scale and how you can work in a scalable way from the very beginning so you waste less money and time fixing it later. Okay, so we have now the button here of character stats. So we're gonna click on it and test that. We already have like the character progress. I don't remember why it's called NRAC. I think that was like a random name. I'm gonna test that real quick because I forgot if the login system had like a way to uh, know what kind of class or name I want for my character. I don't think it does. I think it only. Oh no, it does actually. Okay. Yeah, and also the gender. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna go with character stats then. Level 1, XP progress, warlock, male, simulate habit completion, that's fine. Primary stats, derived stats. Okay, I think it did a great job. Let's test things out, okay? So simulate habit completion should like give me some XP. Yeah. It's awarding me like gaining XP for an easy habit, okay? I'm gonna see what happens when I hit the. Okay, great. I leveled up and I had two stat points available, and I can allocate them. But what happens if I click on allocate? Okay, you have the window for points allocation here. That's nice. I'm just gonna add stamina just to see if the HP changes, right? Because one of the things that we introduced to the stat system was that I think stamina affects maximum health points. Yeah. So if we have where is it? Health points 110 here. If I go and hit more stamina, I should get more derived HP. So let's check that out. Allocate stat points. Bam, bam, save changes. Yep, it's working. It's working. That's great. Awesome. I think is there anything else to test right here? I think not. Really, just I guess just only making sure that okay. Let's see what happens if I don't allocate the points and I get 2 levels instead. Like, do the points sum up? Let's try that. Wow, level 3 is gonna be hard. There you go. Yes, you have 4 points. So if I allocate the status, you have 4. Okay, that's working nice. It's adding up. I like that. Can add 1, each point, strength, like physical damage rate, it changed. Critical is way too high, man. This we gotta nerf this later, but that's all right. We can do it later. Okay, so I guess we had the character stat system pretty good. I'd say. Let's see what happens if I click on delete character. Okay, it's making me like a new one, so I can create a. It's not adding the warlock here now that I see. Oh yeah, I think it's because we didn't add the warlock class in the character document. We forgot that. We're gonna add it soon, so I just guess you get the default values of the stats here as well. That's nice. Mage, female, good character, and new one. There you go. So this is a pre-working sandbox. I like it. What I'm gonna do right now is just make cursor because I don't want to waste that credit of lovable in here. I'm just gonna make cursor add the warlock thing and make sure it added to the document as well. This one, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go and say like, hey, we just added the it's sort of called stats, character stats sandbox maybe. Character stats sandbox, yeah. Character stats sandbox, but we forgot to include the warlock class in both the integration of the sandbox and testing of the system, character creation specifically, and on the document itself. Let's define the warlock as okay, I'm asking myself like a gameplay question right here because I have a mage already and now I'm gonna have a warlock. So I need something in which they can differentiate themselves in the stats. So we have strength. I guess stamina. Usually, like you and video games have more stamina and stuff like that. Like warlocks are like really tough. So that's my warlock is tougher mage with the same balancing, but their initial build more focus on more HP and XP. I mean MP than the mage has. Let's see what it comes up with. And I'm going to add a mention to the document here, which is character stats MD. It doesn't matter if it doesn't like finds it out. It's gonna find it by name on the folder. Okay, I'll help you add the warlock to the characters documentation and ding 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 ding. Also a rogue. I think it's also like rogue isn't defined neither. But the rogue wasn't available on the first character creation to be honest. And if I go class here, oh, it's a text value. Okay, so it actually can store different things. Great. Okay, I'm gonna set the changes and test the local version. That's the local version just to make sure that it's working. So when I go to character stats, and if I delete this character, I can now create. Yep, it's not adding in here. I don't like that. Oh no, it does. Okay, you just needed a phew. Just needed a quick upload update. So I'm gonna go and hold in the stick. Why not? Warlock. Mail. Go. You have the warlock there. And if I go in, I can edit the character from here. That's nice. Character stats. It's actually pretty dull, the warlock. Like it has 10 on everything. Like if you look at I don't know, the mage, for example. Yeah, mage has a lot more of intelligence. Like we might have how much XP? It has 50 HP. Okay, but I think I like the warlock being very balanced, to be honest. So let's just leave it at that for now. Back to dashboard. Okay. Character stats. Okay, so we have the stat systems ready. I think I don't think we need anything else, but this might be a good time to add the streak feature. So let's work on that with lovable. Let's push these changes that we introduce here. Git add, git commit, added warlock to character creation sandbox, git push origin main, bam, there we go. And now let's ask him to do this again. I'm trying to think if we need to test anything else, but I think we don't, right? We have the class, we have the XP is working, and the level is resetting up. The stats allocation things are working as well. So yeah, I think we're pretty covered with the stats for now. And okay, yeah, I don't have any documentation for the streaks feature, so let's work on adding the daily streak feature. This should be a system that proportionates XP bonus to any XP gain depending on the streak of number of days consecutively completing any habit per day. Let's try to balance it so the bonus is meaningful, but not linear. That's a good choice, but not linear because we don't want it to double, triple, quadruple because that's gonna be a mess. That's gonna have it's gonna introduce a lot of inflation. I'm not a game developer or anything like that, but it looks like if you just use linear functions for stats and things, if people use this for a couple of months, they're gonna be with like level 1 fucking trillion, something like that. Like they were in Zimbabwe, some Venezuela. Let's try to balance it so the bonus is meaningful but not linear. Okay, that's all right. And ask me these questions before starting. Bam. Also, I'm guessing for some reason now lovable isn't picking up the commits that quick anymore. Like they should appear here in the chat. I shouldn't need to reload the page for them to appear, but I didn't do it this time, but I think it's okay. I think it's gonna use the repo version still. Although it's not saying me he got the commit, pretty sure the commit was there. So data questions. Okay, how should streaks be defined? Is completing at least one habit per day enough, or should? Okay, that's a good question. Only one habit per day is enough. What should happen when a user misses a day? Should the service set to zero or have some forgiveness mechanism? That's interesting. Um, that's a good question, actually. Let's add a forgiveness mechanism, like a totem or something that can be checked. This is gonna be like, yeah, this is gonna be really complex if I try to add it now, because I might want to add like an item that persons can use to kind of save the streak, just like Duolingo would. But I don't have any systems for inventory yet, so I don't want it to spend calculations on trying to build those features yet. So I'm just gonna say, for now, let's just give them one life if they miss a day. And forgive them, but in the future, I'd like to make this an item check. So having an item will act as a as a streak saver in the future when we introduce inventory and items. What's the maximum streak we should plan for? Is there a cap on streak benefits? Uh, nope. There is not a cap for streak. You know what? I think it's better than just instead of summing up the days, we should have like checkpoints. So if you complete habits for a month, you get like the streak, a certain like part of the streak where you only get like a certain amount of XP increase. Let's do it like that, yeah. So let's try to put that into works. We should have streak tiers based on the amount of days of streak. For example, 7 days of streak should put you in the, I don't know, 2% bonus. Then 15 days, 3%. Then a month, 5%. Something like that up to a year. And should weekend count for streak? Yes, yes. Weekends should count for streaks. Logic question. How XP logic question? Wait, and I like, yeah. Just gonna label based on data. Logic. How should the XP bonus scale with the streak length? With tiers, as I explained before. Oh, okay, they still have numbers, so I'm actually fine. 5, 6. It should be the streak milestone with special rewards. Not 4 now. 7. Should the streak be visible to users before they complete habits as motivation? Yes. How should we handle the testing time offset feature with the streaks? That's a good question. That's what just failed yesterday. So you let me know. You tell me. Let's just go and say, let's try to add something similar to QA time adding button, like the, what was that system? Like the habit sandbox, like we have in the habit sandbox, where we can test how streaks can get that and also get lost, including the life saving. Interface question number 9. Where should strict information be displayed in the UI? This is a good question, and what I actually would like to do is I would like to reflect it in the very same XP. I don't know how yet, but I want it to be like, oh yes, I do know how. Like, what does it? Like, I want to reflect in the very same XP bar as a more faded version of the bar that communicates how much your bonus you're getting with the streak. That's all right. Yeah. And 10, should we have visual celebrations for streak milestones? A notification with the notification component is fine for now. What else? Should we notify users that they're about to break a streak? Yes. Yes. Although we don't have a notification system yet. Let's add some logic that allows it. And make it appear 6 hours before the streak will end. I think we are covered with that, so let's hit enter. Thank you again, folks. Anyone watching on the other side of the screen, thank you for coming up here on a Friday, and I'm really excited about this technology. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm sharing what I'm building. This is actually a passionate project. That's what I want to share. All the knowledge I gathered through the past months and also through my career as a product designer and front-end developer from the last 10 years. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited about this. I may have some mixed opinions on AI about many other things, but this is something I'm going all in and blindfolded for. We're just gonna wait right now and see what lovable comes up with. And of course, the plan for, you're gonna see this is very rough yet, and it looks really boring. But again, what we're doing here is I'm trying a new approach, right? With coding tools where you kind of match the usual app development process a bit more realistically, where you start building the small components, the small systems, the small services that will interact with each other in order to make your app function really well, instead of doing it the other way around, instead of describing a functionality and expect the AI to build everything behind as it's supposed to scale and interact with the other things that you haven't told it yet. The Vibe document has helped a lot for that. I'm actually taking notes of some things that might be really good to update about the document, such as creating QA scenarios, right? That's something I mentioned I use for other versions of the Vibe doc, but for this one, I didn't include QA scenarios, and those are really useful for when we're creating the sandbox. So we gave like the right action buttons to test and QA the functionalities. It's a big change, so it's okay that it's taking a while, to be honest. Also, if you enjoy the content, please, I would recommend and suggest you to check out the YouTube channel. I'm creating videos there. There's only one video right now, but there's more coming the next week. And I try to talk about the principles and the things you need to get right when you get to vibe coding. Actually, the first video is about that. It's 5 things you should do before you get to vibe coding or before you start any kind of project. And it includes a guide on how I create and use the Vibe document, how I like add the custom instructions in lovable to make sure it's using like useful instructions, all of that. Really small things that I've learned through the development process, but that can make a huge impact on the time and credits you spend building this. Great, so it's finished and it has implemented the daily streak feature that rewards consistent habit completion with increased bonuses. The system tracks daily streaks, provide forgiveness with streak life, and includes tool for testing different streak scenarios. Great. Let's see where it at that. Maybe in manage habits or okay, streak data. It's not the same thing. Let's do. If I complete it, have it completed, no streak data. I think this was from the previous thing we added yesterday, not from this streak feature development. I think so. Maybe because it's just the first day. Have it completed. Yep. It should have added a strict count, I believe, right? But I guess character stats, derivative stats, level 1, dashboard, edit character. Okay, let's ask him. Where have you implemented this? I can't find any sandbox with the right tools and options you mentioned. Have you added to the home screen as a button like the others? It sucks that I had to waste a credit on that, to be honest, but it is what it is. Like, I want to save some time. I don't want to go and look for the app myself. I apologize for the confusion. Looking at the Go, I can see that streak tracking functionality has been implemented, but there isn't a dedicated page for it. The streak information is going to be visible within the test habit system page, which is exclusive for that. Don't give me that because we just tested and it's not working, dude. It says that if we test habit system, is this a test habit system? Yeah, I think it is, right? 2. Okay, so I'm in the test habits page, the sandbox for the test habit system. And although there is a text that shows no streak data available, it doesn't change or show anything, even though I'm completing habits in the list below and adding days and completing more habits to see it change. It seems like it doesn't do anything. Because maybe what happened is that it implemented the logic, but it didn't connect it to any UI element. There's an error related to the database structure. Okay. Yes, that probably has to do with the fact that we tried to do a strict system before. So yeah, that's what's happening when you try to go back and forth. It's not hopeless yet, so I think we can fix it, but we might have to spend some credits on it. That's worth it. Waiting, we're just waiting. It's part of the business, folks. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Okay, so it added something here. Okay. So daily streak. Okay. Let's say we have 0 days so far. Okay, that's right. So if we skip 1 day, okay, yeah, we haven't completed any habits, so let's just create new habits here. And then we'll go on this one, and we're gonna call this 2, and we're gonna go and complete 2. You haven't completed any habits today. Why is this happening? Like, why are you happening? Let's complete another one. Habit completed. Reset. We're gonna reset the streak. Try it out. Create habit. Complete. Come on, you got this. You can do it. No, what if I skip 1 day? Yeah. Complete at least one habit per day to maintain your streak. It says that I have 1 day, so it might be registering like the streak count and stuff, but not showing it all right on this element right here. So I'm just gonna go and skip 1 day. I think skipping 1 day means that it's spending 1 day without completing the habit, right? Something like that. And if I complete one here, have it completed, and if I skip 1 day. Okay, so this is really messy right now, to be honest. I might want to go back to when I didn't add the streak thing, and maybe try with cursor, something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking if we want to do that. Feet. It's actually been a while, I think, since we created this. So, but yeah, you know what? I'm gonna roll back. It doesn't matter because this has more things that are not working than things that are working. So this is gonna be. I think it's more worth it to just redo it and try to redo it and try to fix it. The very thing that he didn't add any UI control to the sandbox when implementing the feature, that was a red flag. That was totally a red flag. So it's gonna go back to here, I believe. And let's restore that version. And then if we try to fetch that version, we're gonna go and give the very same prompt. I'm gonna give it this. I'm gonna add the questions that Lovable asked me to. And I'm gonna tell it I'm gonna give you the context of the questions and answers I had with another AI to define the future better. And I'm gonna actually tell it that okay, it seems like we kind of copied more than we should, so I responded. I'm just trying to make it sure he understands this conversation better, not just copying and pasting. There. Also, keep in mind that we the previous AI failed on implementing the logic in any of the existing. Now, so keep in mind that we want to add this whole system and logic. What to integrate? Better word. This whole system and logic with habits management sandbox, so we can test the streak there with the right QA controls and making sure that the existing QA controls in there affect them. What I'm just telling it is, hey, I had this problem, but I didn't mention the problem, right? But I just wanted to make sure that he is integrating this system, this logic he is coming up with. Oh, he's actually asking a couple of questions. That's nice. Let's just reply questions real quick. I said, implemented for the strict use, could you confirm the exact progression you want? One, feel free to fill these suggestions. Make it top 15%. For the streak forgiveness system, should the life be consumed automatically when a life is missed? Yes. Should the user be able to choose when to use their life? No. It should be used automatically, but not defined. Should we show how many lives they have remaining? We should show if they have or not a life remaining. For the QA control, should we add a way to simulate missing days? Yes. Should we add a way to manually set streak length for testing? Yes, that's a good idea, actually. And should we add a way to test the life system? Yes. For the streak bonus calculation, should we apply bonus to all XP gained that day? Yes, to all XP gain overall while in that tier bonus. Should it stack with other XP bonuses? Nope. No. It should use only the current tier bonus. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's try and test it out. Wow, he's already hallucinating. but it's also using like a default model. So I'm gonna stop it right there because I wanted to use um, I wanted to use Claude 3.7. Continue and revert. Yeah. You can see I noticed that it wasn't a very good model because it also started saying the like the bonus percentage here, and in the last message it, although I set the limit to 15%, it added like 20% on 365. So I look at the 20%, I was like, I think this is not a very smart AI, the one that's making this calculation, which is prone to fail on coding as well. I should also mention that when I get it right, I'm gonna add a documentation to the docs, so we have a way to document how the streak works and it was implemented. I'm testing also that on this new app development, where I want to have some docs defining my most important systems. So if I need another thing in the future that will need to interact with the system, I have instructions that will guide the AI to understand how the system works and how integrated, instead of just checking every piece of code it's related to that system. It actually has worked very well with small things. Let's create a component display. Okay, it's gonna create a lot of stuff actually, but that's okay because we're adding a lot of buttons for the QA scenarios. I wonder if this is how developers work right now. Like, do they just use cursor and watch Netflix and that's it? Seems like a really chill time to be a developer. I'm also getting two problems here, so I'm gonna check them out. Okay, it's CSS. That's okay. I'm not mad about that. That won't break the app. I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous, but we're gonna breathe and we're gonna trust our vibes. This is vibe coding, folks. So we need to vibe with the AI coding tool right now in order to make it have energy to code it well. Ah, let's finish in the Dutches. That's good. It's updating a lot. Like you would expect the strict system to be more simple, but it's absolutely really complex. Let's read real quick what it has done. Create a system that are considered like say with mechanics, strict management, other functions to get updated with the streaks. UI components. Okay. Okay. So in the past, lovable didn't change any piece of. It didn't touch the database, so I'm gonna trust that this doesn't require any database change more than just storing the streak days, which that is online. npm run dev. Go here and am test.test.com. And if we go to manage habits, Okay, we have some controls here. What is this? Dude, I can read the the labels of the buttons right here. So I'm gonna change them real quick because I can read them. How's it called, the text? Like 1 week plus 1 week, so it's 1 week. Yeah, we're gonna change this to text black. Text black as well. And I got one more right here, this one, black. This should fix that. Oh, I don't think we have the black button actually implemented. So I know we have slate. Sure, let's take it. Slate 900. I'm guessing that one is register. Well, no, it isn't. Okay, dude, what the fuck? Can you just give me a color that it's dark? Accent. I think we must mess up something else. I'm just gonna go back. No, wait. Yep. And then go ahead here. Okay, I think I messed up this file, folks. Yeah, I think we just messed up something else before. Because now it's working. Now it's not giving any errors. There you go. You can see it now. Okay. Let's proceed to test them now, right? It's a bit messy right now, but that's okay. We just want to test stuff. It says we have 3 days of streak. Current XP bonus is 0. And here you have like the bonuses. You have a way to manually set the streak here, so that's the 7, and we have a current 2%. Okay, nice. It has a notification here for the thing that is at risk. And if let's say I add 1 day, right? And then another day. And if I update, maybe if I complete one here, how it completed, and it got to 1 day. Okay, so if I no, don't tell me this. I just completed the habit and it didn't mark as completed. Like, habit completed. Yeah, it's not okay. Damn it. Like the UI was beautiful. A lot of things work, but now we're getting errors with the habit interaction, and that is actually awful. Let's set the streak to 0 and try to like test it in a clean slate. So if I go complete a daily one, now I have 1 day, and if I completed a daily again, yeah, it's doing the same error as before. Like the last integration The last strict integration we made was failing at doing the same thing, which was like making a clear difference between the habits completion per day and getting the streak per day. So let's try to, before finishing and closing up this session today, let's try to see if he can fix it. Okay, so all right, we're getting a couple of bugs and errors I'd like to fix. Right, and let's just mention the errors. One, I think the most fundamental one is the habits failing, or habits marked as complete are now failing to show complete in the same day. Habits marked as complete should change to the completed status in the habits list until the next time period where they become available based on their frequency. Great. What else? If I complete 2 habits on the same day, they will both add a streak count to the streak, even being in the same day. This shouldn't work like this. Instead, only the first completed habit of that day should sum to the streak. And I think there was another thing. What was it? I think it's just that, to be honest. So let's just roll with that for now and see what it does. I'll fix bot issues. The habit completion status issue, the streak incremental adjustments today. Let's start with fixing the streak issue first. Hopefully, you got this. Come on, man. To be fair, like the streak is extra. It's an extra feature. Like we could skip it in order to, build the MVP. But I'm not in a hurry, and I think like having a streak system is proven to be really beneficial for habits, the dependent apps. So I do want to get it right, and I do want to invest some time in getting it right, even though it seems to be a bit complex. It's checking right now, or the errors that are happening and stuff. I'm surprised, to be honest, at the amount of things that this is editing just to get this strict system right. But it makes sense because at the end of the day, I think the strict system is just like a weird thing coming up from the relationship of completing habits in a certain period of time related to the XP as well. So yeah, makes sense that it's a bit complex. Okay, let's test it out right now. If I go here, click, bam, let's see. Let's see if it works. We have 3 days right here, right? We're gonna reset the streak to 0. It's on 0 now, great. And we're going to complete one daily habit, and it's marked as done. That's okay. And we have one day. Okay, so if we complete any other daily habit, let's check. It shouldn't count for the streak. It is counting for the streak. Hmm. Okay. And if I complete like a weekly habit, does it count as well? Yes, it counts. And if I sum up one day, right? This, wow, okay. I was 4. Give me, I was 5. Fifth. I feel like the problem is the clock thing, right? Because we're manipulating the clock in order to test the things, and I feel like they're using different clocks. So I'm gonna tell that to Cursor. There seems to be persistent issues. The following is just a hunch, so make your own suggestions and decisions. But it seems like the clock is conflicting a lot with between the habits, statuses, and the streak counts. Are we sure we're using the same clock for it for the testing purposes of the sandbox? I say this because now habits can be marked and show us completed, can be completed and show us completed per day. But if I add a day with the QA controls on top, they won't reset it. They won't make the daily habit available for that test next day, which should happen. And also, what was the other error? Oh yeah, that they are still counting. They're still making it to the count. What? Why did that happen? Let's reset the count again, and I'm gonna delete these habits just to make sure that this is working with new and existing habits. That happens sometimes as well, so just gonna make sure I add new ones. D1 for daily 1, D2 for daily 2, week 1 for weekly 1. Okay, that's. If I complete the weekly one, I should get 1 count and streak. Okay, and if I complete a daily one the same day, that's counted too. But now if I go 1 day ahead and complete, okay, the daily is resetting. That's weird. Okay, so at least we know that the previous error with the time was because they probably changed something on the configuration of the ones that were already created. That's why they were falling. But let's try to add a new day here and see if it makes it to 2 at least. So if I complete this one. It wasted a day streak right here. Let's see if we try with a different habit this time. Done. And 1 day, and if I click another one, 2 days. Okay, yeah, so the streak count is being really messy. But at least we know that the weekly thing here, like if I sum up a week, that is working all right. I like that. And yeah, I think that the daily strict thing should be like more. I think I need to define it better. It's a bummer. It's a bummer that we didn't get it correctly today. Um, to be honest, at least we got the characters that was a win. Like we got this working really, really quick. So that's I love that. And yeah, but that's gonna be the time we have for today, folks. So it's a bummer that we didn't get the strict thing. I'm probably gonna try to spend some time building it this weekend, and maybe Monday I will come back to you with the insights and the things that worked and didn't work to get it right. So we don't have to spend more like time and screen developing this. If not, then I will just skip it for now and maybe save for the B2 version and just continue developing the rest of the features and the rest of the screens that we need. We're almost there. Like we just need the onboarding and what else? We have character creation, we have the class system, we have the habits, we have the experience working, and I think that's it. Once we finish uh, well, the streak, if we're gonna fix it, and the onboarding, I think we will be ready to put this together into the designs we prepare for it, which should be really short as well and easier. That's my hypothesis. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for being here. See you next Monday. If you're tuning in, make sure to check my YouTube channel if you want to keep on the loop about learning more about vibe coding. I'll be streaming every day, afternoon, GM3 minus 3. If anything changes, I will communicate by X, and have a nice weekend, y'all. See you.